Italy, 1939. Two friends, Guido and Ferruccio, drive through the countryside on their way to Arezzo. The brakes stop working, and they accidentally go down a hill. Guido takes a break from fixing the car. He's clever and funny, and introduces himself as a prince to a girl he meets. As he's talking, a woman falls from the window of a barn. Guido catches her and calls her a princess. The woman, Dora, gives Guido some eggs as thanks. The two men arrive at the hotel where Guido's uncle, Eliseo, is the head waiter. Eliseo shows them where they'll be staying. The next day, they walk through the city. Guido wants to open a bookshop, but Rodolfo, the government official who must sign Guido's papers, is dismissive because he has somewhere to be. Guido is waiting for another government official when he accidentally knocks a flower pot out the window onto Rodolfo. Guido rushes down to apologize. He still has the eggs Dora gave him and puts them in Rodolfo's hat as he tries to help. Rodolfo says Guido won't get his bookshop now and puts his hat back on. The eggs in the hat smash on Rodolfo's head. He's furious and chases Guido, who steals a bike to escape. He knocks into a school teacher and sees that it's Dora. He calls her a princess and is pleased to see her, but he must keep going to escape from Rodolfo. Guido practices being a waiter for Eliseo at the hotel. Eliseo reminds Guido that he's not a servant, he's serving. Serving is a supreme art. Ferruccio and Guido are walking together when they see Dora and her friend. Rodolfo drives up and greets the ladies. Guido hides while Ferruccio talks about how similar Rodolfo's car is to his own. Rodolfo drives away, and Guido speaks with Dora, again calling her princess. Dora is amused and comments that they keep meeting suddenly, and Guido suggests they meet on purpose. She refuses, but suggests they might meet by surprise again soon. Guido serves a physician, Dr. Lessing, who is impressed at how quickly Guido solved a riddle he mentioned. Guido gives him a riddle, and Dr. Lessing focuses on solving it instead of eating. Guido serves a man from the ministry and talks about Lessing's obsession with riddles. The man from the ministry is a school inspector and is expected at the elementary school in the morning. Guido steals the inspector's sash and goes to the school early to meet Dora. He asks where she will be on Sunday, and she says she'll be at the opera. As Guido is about to leave, the school principal says the inspector is there to talk about their superior race. Guido makes things up on the spot, showing his ear and belly button as examples of an ideal Aryan man. The real inspector arrives, and Guido escapes out the window. Guido goes to the same opera as Dora. The performance ends, and Dora speaks with her date, Rodolfo. She's annoyed with him for his social climbing. Rodolfo leaves to fetch the car as it's raining. Guido borrows Ferruccio's car, and Dora gets in. When she discovers Guido is driving the car, she wants to be taken back, but the car gets stuck at the top of some steps. They take shelter, and eventually, the rain stops. Guido impresses her with his sense of humor and antics. They arrive at Dora's lavish house, and Guido admits he cares for her. They say goodnight. There's an engagement party at the hotel. Rodolfo is the groom, and Guido avoids him. Dora doesn't want to attend the party, but her mother forces her to get up. Guido is called outside. Eliseo's horse has been dyed green and written on, saying it's a Jewish horse. Eliseo warns Guido that they must get used to this treatment as Jewish people. Guido brushes this off and doesn't think anything can happen to him. Dora arrives at the party. Guido decides to surprise her. Dr. Lessing is checking out as he's been called to Berlin. They say goodbye. Lessing says Guido is the most ingenious waiter he's ever met, and Guido says Lessing is the most cultured customer he's ever served. Lessing gives Guido one last riddle to solve before leaving.
Buongiorno, principessa.
Dora receives a cake with "Good morning, princess" written on it, and she realizes Guido is there. Rodolfo speaks about how he and Dora are engaged. Guido is shocked and falls over. Alicio sees he's distressed and sends him to the kitchen. Guido is still distracted and drops something near Dora's table. No one is paying attention to Dora, so she crawls under the table, kisses Guido, and asks him to take her away. Guido interrupts the engagement party by riding in on his uncle's horse. He asks his princess to join him. Dora gets on the horse and they ride away. Rodolfo is angry and Dora's mother is displeased. 1944. Guido and Dora are married and have a son, Joshua. Guido owns a bookstore. A man orders Guido to go to the government offices again. Guido reassures Joshua and marches with exaggeration to make his son smile. It's Joshua's birthday, but he doesn't want to take a bath and hides in a cupboard. Guido finds him. Joshua winks at his father and tells him to be quiet. Guido plays along, but Dora finds Joshua anyway. They tease each other. Dora brings her mother to meet Joshua for the first time, but the house is overturned. Alicio, Guido, and Joshua stand in line to board the train. Guido makes light of the situation for Joshua's sake and says they're going on a surprise journey. Dora speaks with a Nazi soldier and insists that her husband and son are mistakenly on the train. The soldier says there's been no mistake. Dora asks to get on the train to be with her husband and son. The soldier allows her to board, even though she's not Jewish. Joshua sees his mother get on the train and is excited they're going on this journey together. The train arrives at a work camp. Guido rushes to find Dora. They see each other, but the women are separated from the men. Guido has an idea and pretends that they're playing a game. They must follow the soldiers' orders and be careful so they don't get sent home. Joshua agrees to play along when he discovers the first prize is a real tank. Alicio is taken out of the line. Guido says he's on a different team, and they say a cheerful goodbye to him. They're taken to their room, and Guido pretends it's all part of the game. Joshua wants his mother, and Guido says they'll see her after the game. They win if they collect 1,000 points. Joshua asks for a snack. Guido speaks to another man, Bartholomew, and asks if the man who brings bread and jam came by. Bartholomew plays along, seeing what Guido is trying to do. Guards come in and ask if anyone can speak German. Guido volunteers and uses the chance to translate what the guard says as rules for the game. He says these men are only playing mean guys for fun, and they mustn't be scared. You lose points for crying, asking for your mother, and complaining that you're hungry and want snack. Joshua believes the game is real. Guido works with the other men. It's challenging and hot. Joshua is happy to see his father at the end of the day. Guido says his new clothes are part of the game. He makes up a story about convincing the men to let them play and shows Joshua his game number, which they put on his clothes and arm, so he doesn't forget it. Joshua says the other kids don't know the game's rules and say there's no prize. Guido says the kids are trying to trick Joshua. He pretends he had a fun day playing games and won some points. A woman tells Dora that older people and children at the camp will be killed. Guards will take them to a shower, but it will secretly be a gas chamber. Dora is worried. Joshua finds his father carrying anvils. The guards want the kids to shower, but he hates having to wash. Joshua refuses to go back, so Guido tells him to hide and they'll return together. Alicio and other older men are brought to shower. Bartholomew helps Guido continue pretending with Joshua. The new rule is that Joshua must hide and not be found, otherwise they'll lose. Guido uses a wheelbarrow to sneak Joshua with him. He uses the speaker to talk to his princess. Dora hears Guido and Joshua talking and smiles. The men are lined up shirtless and inspected by a physician. It's Dr. Lessing. Guido answers the last riddle Lessing gave him. Guido gets back later than the others. Bartholomew was worried he had taken so long. Lessing asked Guido to be a waiter at a special dinner for the Nazi officers and their families. Joshua is upset because he heard someone say they would be burned in an oven and made into soap and buttons. Guido pretends it's another trick to get Joshua not to play the game. Joshua wants to leave. Guido says they can and talks about how they're in first place as they prepare to leave. Joshua decides to stay so he can win a tank. Guido is preparing for dinner when he sees the children of the German officers playing hide and seek. He fetches Joshua to show that the other kids are hiding like him. A German nanny calls the children inside and sees Joshua before Guido can hide him. Guido tells him they're now playing a silent game. They're rounding up everyone with high points, and the others will talk funny, but he mustn't say anything. The children make noise at dinner, and an officer tells them to be quiet. Joshua sees this and thinks he's doing well in the game. Lessing knocks something off his table, so Guido comes over. He whispers that he needs to speak to Guido and will signal him later. Guido and a German waiter serve the children dessert. Joshua accidentally says thank you in Italian. The German waiter goes to fetch the nanny. Guido thinks on his feet, and when the nanny and waiter return, he's teaching all the children to say thank you in Italian. Guido tells Lessing that Dora is at the camp too. Lessing is about to speak, but is interrupted. Guido tells Joshua that they're in the lead and might leave early. Lessing signals for Guido to come over and tells him to pay attention. He shares a riddle and begs Guido to solve it because he can't sleep. Guido realizes there's no help and walks away. Guido changes records and sees a song from the opera he and Dora attended many years ago. He opens the window so that Dora can hear. She walks over to the window and knows it's from Guido. Dora cries. Guido carries Joshua back to their room, but it's misty and he takes a wrong turn. He sees a pile of bodies and walks away before Joshua can see. Guido wakes up to the sound of a lot of noise. The Allies are closing in, so the guards are trying to get rid of everything and everyone. Guido runs away with Joshua and tells him this is the game's last night. Joshua is the last one and must stay hidden. If Guido doesn't return, then Joshua must only come out when quiet. Guido disguises himself as a woman to look for Dora, but can't find her. He's caught and forced to walk with a soldier. They walk past where Joshua is hiding. Guido and Joshua wink at each other, and Guido marches funnily to make his son laugh. Guido is taken down an alleyway and shot by the soldier. It's morning, and the last of the soldiers leave. The remaining prisoners go too. It's quiet. Joshua comes out of his hiding place. A tank turns the corner, and Joshua thinks he's won the tank as his father promised.
Come on, get up here.
An American soldier invites Joshua onto the tank. As they drive, Joshua sees his mother.
Stop!
The soldier puts him down, and Joshua runs to his mother, saying they've won. His mother is relieved and happy and agrees that they've won.